So in today's YouTube video, I am just dropping a coaching call with a friend of mine who used to work for my company and now is kind of going off and starting his own thing. He's actually a student, gone team member, and now he's doing his own thing. And it's really interesting. He helps people use Airtable, which is like a software tool. And I'm just showing him how to close, $5,000 deals with that specific angle. And I've taught this to a lot of my students, and this has made them so much money. So if you activate a prospect's feature brain, they will always go off and want to think about it or come back to you or compare options or whatever. Whereas when you get them focused on outcome brain and personal transformation and what they want and their desires, you can hold them accountable to making a decision, moving forward with you with boldness, and pretty much doing whatever you tell them to do. So I'm coaching my friend Cole on how to close $5,000 or more deals with the strategies that I've developed, well over 4,000 sales calls. And I've learned a ton of hard lessons, and I've got a ton of hard no's, and I've had some yeses that were worth literally a single year's worth of income for my old self. So if I can do it, you definitely can. Because my very, very first sales call, I literally was so awkward on it that the prospect asked me if I was okay. So they were like, hey dude, are you all right? Because I was so awkward. So listen, if you enjoy this coaching call and you want to be mentored like this, just schedule a call using the link down below, and you'll speak with one of my team members, and we'll chat with you about where you're at, what your goals are, and everything, and see if you're a good fit. And if you're not a good fit, it's no hard feelings. We really just want to work with people we know for a fact that we can help. So even if you're not a good fit, still be a great 45-minute conversation with my team to see if you're a good fit for the Consulting Blueprint program, where we privately mentor people and help them take their existing knowledge or start a brand new coaching offer in a totally new niche that they've never worked in before and build it to $5,000, $10,000, or $20,000 a month in total monthly income. If that sounds cool, schedule a call down below. Either way, enjoy this meeting with my friend Cole. Okay, we're talking about selling your offer, which on a material level is Airtable integration into businesses, okay? But on a personal level, so there's different ways of viewing your offer. So far, I guarantee all of your prospects have been coming back to you and saying, I'm gonna think about this, I'm gonna look at other solutions, I'm gonna do my research, I'm gonna da-da-da-da-da, right? Or I'll let you know within a week or so, I'm talking to some other options. Every time a prospect says this, the reason why they're saying it is because you didn't do a good enough job understanding them as an individual in their situation, what they really want, why they really want it, and connecting the dots between what they want and your solution. So you should, in a perfect world, be able to sell Airtable services while saying Airtable maybe once on the call. It should be all about the individual's personal goals, what they want, and what's stopping them from reaching them. So I'll play a hypothetical scenario with you right now. Agency owner doing $40,000 or $50,000 a month, 3 team members, a lot of moving pieces in his business, and he's a little overwhelmed. He knows he needs to consolidate some stuff. Okay. Question I would ask that person if I were selling your service, I would not ask, what's your CRM? Are you Google Sheets? Are you Airtable? Are you HubSpot? Mm-hmm. You're speaking to the wrong, especially an entrepreneur. They're like, I don't want to talk about like my CRM. they just want to get it done, right? And
like, how did you get here?
Yes. So a better question would be, let's say their name's Jason. I don't know. Jason, tell me, dude, like how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how overwhelmed do you feel about the moving pieces in your business right now? And what effect do you think that that's having on your ability to make good decisions? So that would be on the first, portion of meeting where, you're diagnosing. So first you set the tone, you tell them, hey, here's how the call is going to go. You get their permission. I'm going to ask a bunch of questions, see if you're a good fit. If you're a good fit, we'll get started today. If you're not, it's no worries. Make sure they know it's a decision point today so that they're primed to answer these questions openly. Then in the diagnosis section, you're asking them about their relationship with their work, their relationship with the expectations they have with their clients, their ability to make rational decisions, and their ability to move cleanly through the business landscape and make sound, clean, clear decisions, right? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how overwhelmed would you say you are? 1 being you feel like you can step in and out of work and you're crystal clear on exactly what needs to happen. You have an exact game plan. You know your numbers top to bottom. You know your financials. You know your KPIs, everything. 10 being you wake up in like a cold sweat and you have no clue what to do next and you're overwhelmed and you kind of regret getting into entrepreneurship in the first place. Let's say they're, if they're on a call with you, probably there to be like 5, 7. These are like the safe answers, right? And I would just say something like, so what effect is that having on your ability to grow your business? Because all want growth, right? They don't want Airtable. They don't want a CRM. They don't want these. They want growth. They want clarity so they can make good decisions so they can grow. So in the diagnosis section, I'm not asking what do you currently use for softwares. I'm asking how they feel and what their relationship with their business is right now, because that's really what we're solving for them. So where are you at right now? How do you feel about your work? Do you feel clear? Do you feel like you've got a clear growth process? And then they give me all this information. I relay it back to them. Okay, so you're telling me that you're like a 7 out of 10 and you're kind of stressed out and you're not really sure you can do this for another like 6 or 7 months, right? And they're like, yeah, I honestly think so. Okay, fair enough, dude. I hear it all the time. No worries, no judgment. That's very, very common. Let's talk about the future. Where do you want to be? So how much revenue do you want to be bringing in? How much profit do you want that to be? What sort of relationship do you want with your work here? So when you're painting the future, again, I'm not talking about Airtable, okay? I'm talking about the outcome. So where do you want to get, by when, why, are personal questions. So I'm not saying what CRM software do you use right now, what KPI tracking software do you use right now, and how does it compare to Airtable, and then making this logical case as to why they need to move to Airtable. You're going to get the 1,500 and below bottom feeders if you try and sell like that. You're just going to, because you're activating, there's two parts to a prospect's brain, the outcome brain and the feature brain. So guys like yourself that are really, really well versed in a tool, it is the hardest thing to learn to speak to outcome brain in the meetings. But if you can, that's when you can start to sign like $5,000 deals, $10,000 deals. $20,000.
I feel like I'm good at the copywriting part of it.
Yep. Because
like I can write copy, no problem.
Yes, because you understand, I think, your audience and your ideal target marketplace. But I think it's interesting where I think sometimes like a high ticket closer, because they have a little less context about the product, can actually sometimes sell it better than the founder.
Oh, true.
When the founder, because what's going through your head as they're talking is all these little software solutions that they should do. You know what I mean? What's going through your head is like, oh, you have that problem? Oh, you should set up this base in Airtable. That'll help. You know what I mean? But really, you should just leave Airtable for the first onboarding call and like not even think about it. You know, what you're really helping people achieve, man, is you're helping people scale their business to where they want to get by helping them to get clarity of their key performance indicators without the constant daily work of filling in boring spreadsheets, right? You're creating an automated system for them to have clarity of their business. And that is how if I were selling Airtable solutions, that's how I'd speak to it. So outcome brain would be, so where do you want to get, by when, why? They're like, well, I'm stuck at 40,000 a month, you know, and I'd like to be at like maybe 80 to 100. So that's a great goal. Why do you want that? Well, I know that if I get to 100, you know, at that point, I will be about like 40 to 50% profit, and $50,000 a month, you know, after tax, 30,000 a month. Like that is more than enough for me to start to build the real estate portfolio that I want. So you're getting them to speak to the outcome and why they want it. Because again, this is the tricky thing, is you have to be bold and willing to ask these questions. So the way that I train my sales team, like they ask these questions. They get down and dirty about the person's actual desires. Why do they even want this? So it's like, okay, you want to build your real estate portfolio. What else? Is there anything else on your mind? They're like, well, honestly, if I'm not doing $1 million a year, I just feel like, why am I even doing this? Because I could go back into sales anytime and make, 10, 20,000 a month. This is where I got my start, and this is a great company I used to work for. And, I could always go back to that. So if I can't scale this, it's just like, I'm working way harder and I'm making way less right now than I was there. So it's like, it's tempting to go back all the time. And so you get clarity of the outcome. You ask them, what's stopping you from doing it yourself? And then they'll list some stuff. This is probably the only point where you as an expert can like come in and make your own suggestions and recommendations, but you have to be very careful, because a lot of the time you'll open up like a loop where they'll just ask a bunch of questions about your solution and you'll you know what I mean? So just like, look, it derails. So you're keeping them on a straight line. You're keeping them thinking about themselves. If they think about you and your service and your software and what you're going to do, you're going to get them into thinking about, do I like coal? If they're thinking about, do I like coal and do I like Airtable? You're not going to sell $5,000 deals. If they're thinking, am I really ready to build the system necessary to get to $100,000 a month? Is that something I really want to do for myself, for my family, for my real estate portfolio, so that I don't have to go back to this sales gig, even though I could make more money with that right now? You see the difference? So it's outcome and it's them focused. So what's stopping you from doing it yourself is the question. They say, well, I mean, I really just feel like I'm flying blind, and or something like that, or I don't really even know my numbers when it comes down to it. I don't really know what projects need focused on. And because of that, like my team can sense that I'm like really kind of scattered, and I can kind of feel them sensing that I'm scattered, and it's not good. It's creating a very frustrating company culture for them to work for, and I can sense that they probably are gonna want to leave. And so that's like a big one. And you could come in and interject and be like, can I add something to the pile for you? And they say, sure. Be careful not to say Airtable or whatever. Be like, well, one thing that I'm seeing is, based on everything that you've told me today, you don't even have eyes on, your marketing, returns. Like you're doing all this work. You don't even know how much inputs create how much outputs. So even if you wanted to get to $100,000 a month, you wouldn't even know what it would take to get there. This is just my thought. Like, I'm not coming down on you, but this is just what I'm seeing. So you can add very humbly, and I love that phrase, like, I'm not coming down on you. I'm not trying to judge you. This is just what I'm seeing. Am I correct? And if you get them to say, yeah, I think you're right, you've got the sale, because now they've given you their reason and you've interjected your own, which means they trust you, and that means that they're admitting that you're probably going to see things that they can't see, and that's
they're like showing their hand.
Yes, exactly. It's self-admittance, and once you have self-admittance, you say, "Look, man, can I be forward with you?" And they say, "Yeah, of course," because you've done the reciprocity building up until this point. Yeah, I think based on my opinion, and I actually wouldn't even say I think, I would say, "Can I be forward with you?" They say, "Sure." Listen, man, what you need to do, you need to build a better operating system for your business. If you don't, you're going to stay here. You're going to stay stuck. You're going to stay right here. When you do, these $100,000 a month goals, this place you want to get to, completely doable for you because you're a smart guy. You've gotten here. You've gotten far enough. You've got good leadership skills. Your clients like you. This is the only missing piece that I'm seeing right now. But you have to do it. Like, it's not optional, okay? So if you're open to it, I can tell you a bit about how I work, what I do, because if the reason stopping you from getting to here from here is X, repeat it back to them, then you're a perfect fit for what I do, because X can be solved in Y amount of time, like 2 weeks or a week or 48 hours or whatever. So can I tell you about it? And at that point, they should be like, yeah, sure. And you spend probably 45 seconds being like, I work with my clients for X amount of time. I focus on XYZ. And so XYZ could be like, I focus on just data-driven systems, helping the CEO get really clear on key numbers and making it seamless for you so you can stay in the zone and do what you're best at. And it takes about 2 weeks to build, or X amount of time to build. So I want to show you how to build this. We'll meet once a week for 2 months, and I'll tell you everything you need to do, but you have to commit to yourself to actually do what I'm going to tell you to do. Otherwise, you're just not going to get to your $100,000 a month goal.
There's no point.
There's no point. So you're framing yourself as the expert. You have to do what I'm telling you to do.
And not the service provider.
Huge. You see the difference in the sale here? Then so here's like how Airtable works, and like here's the features of it, and here's like examples of clients that I've worked with and what I've done for them. And you get them into tech brain, and tech brain or feature brain always says, I'll think about it. I'll come back to you. Let me process this for a minute. I'm going to go get some other quotes. I'm gonna look at some other options, see if I can do it myself. You know what I mean? It always.
Can I interject?
Yeah, please.
So what if I'm like, what if I adopt this, but they come into the call very tech brain themselves?
Yeah, you have to.
Like, what if they're like a Google Sheets
person
person trying to become an Airtable person?
Yes, you have to lead them out of that in like the first 2 or 3 minutes. So
okay.
The way you do that is, we've got the script in CB, which you can use. So you tell them, here's how the call is going to go. Here's what we're going to do on the call today. Okay, so here's how the call's. So first of all, a little small talk. Hey, how's it going? Hey, are you cool if I kick off the call? We can just get right into things. They'll always say, yeah, sure. And because it's cool. Here's how the call is going to go. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions today, get to know. So how you frame it is how it's going to go. So if you say, I want to see what your CRM is, what your current software stack is, I want to understand all the tools that you're currently using and dive into your current operating system and just get eyes on it. And then if I think that Airtable is a better option, I'll explain how that looks. That's like bad. You want to be big, higher level. You don't want to get into feature brain. You want to say, I want to understand your relationship with your business.
What are the pains?
I want to understand your situation, kind of understand all the moving pieces in your business in terms of your KPIs, your tracking, and your decision-making processes right now. I want to understand, your current scale caps and your current challenges. But really, I'm just going to ask you a bunch of questions. And the more open and honest you can be, the more likely it is that I can help you. If towards the end of this meeting, I see that you're a good fit and you're qualified for what I do, I'll get you started today. If I don't, it's no hard feelings. I won't make you an offer unless I know for a fact that I can help you. So the more transparent we can both be, the better this is going to go. So you're not saying, I'm going to look at your CRM, your softwares, and da-da-da. You're saying, I want to get to know you as a person, your goals, what it is that you're trying to achieve. And that's when they're like, oh yeah, sure. Because people will always want to talk about themselves. So then you always just open up with a very open-ended question of, so why are you here? What motivated you to spend some time with me today? And if they give you a short-winded answer, like, oh, I just want to learn more about Airtable, it's like not good enough. It's like, okay, so why is that? Get them to, you want to ask why or what has you wanting to do that, and probe until.
What motivated you?
Exactly. Until they realize, oh, they're asking about me here, and it might take a sec. And some people might be a little averse to it, but you just have to with a very casual tone, with a very caring approach. Okay, so why do you want to learn more about Airtable? It's like, I just feel like our current data, tracking system isn't that good. Got it. Okay, so why? Well, well, and I just like to get forward, like, why does that matter to you? And then just get down and dirty to them, because you're always, consulting is always selling outcomes. So if you can't get them to talk about where they are now on a human level, not where they are now on a software level, then you'll never, ever, ever be able to talk about the future on a human level and get them to make a real commitment to a better life and a better business, which is what you're trying to get them to make a commitment to. So that's how you avoid tech talk. Even if they come in as a tech guy, even tech guys have personal motivations. Even if they're somewhat clinical personal motivations, they're still personal motivations. So
yeah, because I'm sure I asked Jeremy a bunch of tech related questions or like really like granular questions, and he probably just like bing, bing.
Yep, just like he heard those questions and was just like ping, just like it just went in one ear and out the other, or just bounced right off of him. Because the technical questions, when somebody's asking a technical question, it tells me that I haven't connected with them enough. Like the best question you should be getting is, will this work for me? Because they're not going to be on this call, and they're not going to be on a consultation call unless they know that there's something wrong. So that's why they're here. So getting to the reason why they got on the call is the reason why they'll buy. If you can just source that. So
that's a good, yeah.
You know what I mean? So the question, what motivated you to spend some time with me today, is such a powerful question, because it's just like, especially if you can probe and get to the actual answer, it's now like, okay, this is actually like about me today. Like I'm really opening up about this. So they wouldn't be on this call if they didn't want to, on some level, buy something and get a solution. It's your job to get them to open up so that you can peel back the brain and plant the thought of like, look, until you do this, you won't get this. And so you can tell me you got to go wait and look at your other options, but you're just delaying the obvious. We both established A, that you aren't where you want to be, B, that there's a clear place that you want to get, and C, that the reasons why you can't get there, I can solve very quickly for you. So if it's by saying, I just want to think about this or look at my other options, you're ultimately saying my standards aren't high enough to solve these problems, and I don't actually want to solve these problems. And that's where some of the objection handling that I do on the end of the call so reliant on the personal information gathering up until that point. You know what I mean? Because then it's like you're holding them to a decision that they need to make for themselves. Because once you establish especially their why, so where do you want to get? Why do you want to get there? A great way to get that is, so what would be better for you? What would be different for you if you did have those things? What effect would that have on your life in business, right? Getting clear on that. And they're like, well, if I could, then da-da-da-da. Okay, so what's the point of thinking about this, right? And why would you spend any less than $5,000? Because if this is the goal, this is the why, the thing that makes you want that thing, then what's $5,000? You know? And so that's how to stay out of it. And then on that first call, you're like, look, man, I told you I was going to solve this problem. Here's how we're going to solve it. There's this software tool I really like called Airtable. You know what I mean? Yep. Like that's how I would be doing the stuff that you're doing.
Okay. I think I do, like, I ask some questions that are more like less techie, I know for sure, but I definitely don't get super deep into it. So that's good to know. I guess as far as like the offer goes, like, does that sound pretty good? Like as far as like how I have it structured, does that sound, I guess, like standard, or, what do you think?
The offer is good enough, man. I think half of what makes an offer work is the sales call. Like people think a lot about the structure of the offer. If it's an hour-long course that solves one of the reasons why they can't do it themselves very clearly, and the outcome is big enough, then it's worth $5,000. So,
and I can make like, templates they can have and stuff too.
Yeah, sure, man. So what you're trying to do is TTV, time to value. So your offer should have as short of a TTV window as possible. So a time to value window is like, basically, if they do everything you tell them to do, how quickly does that outcome become a reality? Does it take 12 months? Does it take 2 months? Does it take 2 weeks? So when you're thinking about your CST, your client success timeline, you're thinking about the TTV, the time to value of that delivery process, right? So it can look however you want it to look. But what the kind of a golden question for the offer structure is, does this thing that I'm including get them closer to their goal? And is it the most efficient way to get them closer to that goal in that like specific sub arena of the delivery process, right? So for example, like is the best way to show them how to use Airtable a pre-recorded hour and a half long video? Or is it like a Google Doc? Or do I really need to get on a one-on-one for 60 minutes? Like, what's the most efficient way to get them there, right? Call, a group call, a piece of course content. You know, maybe there was a book that really helped you, you know, get this stuff off the ground and help you understand key performance indicators, metrics, and you don't have to have the answers to all their questions. You just have to say, like, do this, then do this, then do this. Here's a great resource if you get stuck on this. You know what I mean? You're because you got them outcome motivated, you're trying to stay out of the way and just give them the path, right? It doesn't have to be a complex delivery process. It needs to be minimum viable. TTV low or quick, minimum viable, give them what they need, let them rip. And how you run the sales call and the onboarding call has a lot to do with it. So once they're bought in, within 24 to 48 hours, you got your onboarding call. You're like, look, man, this is what we talked about. This is the outcome you want. This is what you need to get. Here's the reality of what you need to do. Okay. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. Write it in a Google Doc, send it to them, right? Check the boxes as they come. Once they're all checked, come back to me and we'll have our next call. That's kind of how I would maybe do it.
They're going to have like a nice little portal they can log into, and like it's a little project management thing. They can schedule calls, and like I already have that all built out.
Nice.
Here, let me send you, this is like the actual landing page for the offer. So I just wanted to get your opinion on like the copy. Most of it I just had ChatGPT, right?
This is definitely good, dude. I think the trick here, it's so
speaking to the benefits, not the features.
Yeah, this, you know, like when I look at like, okay, so first of all, boost your Airtable skills. Okay, I don't want to learn Airtable. I want to, you know, grow my business or I want to make more money. You know what I mean? Like how does Airtable help me do that? That's what you need to, if you're gonna use the phrase Airtable, you need to explain how it does that, like over and over and over and over. Drill it in. So sure, you can learn how to optimize workflows, automate tasks, and boost productivity with a comprehensive program, but it's like, why?
Yep.
So why would I do that? The process, this is good enough. These testimonials also good enough. I think these testimonials are heavier hitters once you define why these testimonials are so awesome. It's like Melissa, his incredible expertise in software and Airtable. Genius. Conditional visibility. I have no idea what conditional visibility is. User roles and permissions. Various headers for each type of user. Like, bro, no idea what she's talking about. So because of, you know what I mean? And I'm just shooting straight. Because of that, are going to be irrelevant to a lot of your target market. Like,
actually, Anthony, that guy, he's like the best one for the actual coaching one.
Cole is the man. Cole's an absolute legend. Cannot recommend working with him enough. Took the time to figure out what I actually needed to get done, built a plan together, tailored the services directly to what I needed, was with me every step of the way, really taught me how to do a lot of stuff so I could kind of do it on my own after the fact.
Is there like a before and after with Anthony? Like before here, after here? Because like
we don't have a before video.
Yeah.
But like, I guess we only have the after.
I'm making an investment to our VSA. Like, this is my client Anya. She went from to here using.
But she's killing it.
Crushing. So it's like, did this guy go from a place to another place? You know what I mean? Like that's worth defining. Like Anthony went from 15 hours a week inside of spreadsheets to 30 minutes, you know, or just whatever, you know, something like saving them time, making them more money, pushing them towards their, like, save them time, make them money, give them freedom, give them control. You know what I mean? Like the ways of measuring that are really important. So Anthony, if you're going to push this guy, it's like Anthony Corsaro. It's like Anthony Corsaro, you know, like this revenue level to this revenue level, if you have revenue growth since having worked with him, you know what I mean? Or some
his is like podcast stuff.
Yeah, so some form of like before after. But you're close, dude. You're close, but you can see how outcome driven I am. This is why I've been able to help like 100 different people in tons of different niches, because I have developed the skill, and anybody can develop it, of relating services, products, and programs to human nature. What do humans want? Humans want more time. They want more money. They want more health. They want higher quality relationships. They want more peace of mind. They want more status. They want more, you know what I mean? So what do humans actually want? Right? So that's the key here, man, is relating. Sorry, we're moving and Lily was just texting me a bunch of stuff. So relating, like, go on Google and look up Maslow's hierarchy of needs and like which need do these speak to? If anything, Melissa's speaks to maybe freedom so that she can do the work that she wants to do. Maybe, you know what I mean? This is like, I don't know. but
his isn't really a testimonial. His is more just a tweet, you know. I was just like, oh, I'm just gonna put it all up there.
Sure, yeah. But you see what I mean, right? So these aren't speaking
Yeah.
to human needs. These is getting good at Airtable is not a human need. You know what I mean? Just like
Nope.
starting a coaching business isn't a human need. Like I'm not saying start a coaching business. Everybody wants to start a coaching business. I'm like, well, what do humans want? They want to like make a lot
Money,
of
time, freedom.
They want money, time, freedom, and there's a subset few too that really want to do like meaningful, quality work for people and like build something that really lasts. And so like I relate
Health, wealth, relationships.
health, wealth, relationships. So I relate starting coaching consulting business to like those things. And then I use my life as an example. I use my students' lives as an example. You see what I mean? So if I would just like start your coaching business using my 3-step coaching business startup process, book your call below. It's like it's really clinical. You know what I mean? So that would be the adjustment I'd make, and I would reflect that in your sales meetings as well. Speaking to the human need
I think
where you sell anything. Yeah.
I like that. Is there anything we can talk about, I guess, like for marketing? Should I just stick with what works, like the LinkedIn posts and maybe YouTube videos?
I would stick with what works. I would adjust yourself a little bit. I would move from Airtable / no code wizard and a million other things, which is your current LinkedIn bio.
Yep. Yep.
To
speaks the truth.
Yeah, which is good. You know, you're a freaking machine, and I've worked with you. I understand how quickly you can solve problems and everything. So, what I would do, man, is I would adjust this from Airtable, no code wizard, and a million other things to something along the lines of I help business owners get a handle on their growth or get a handle on their key numbers so that they have peace of mind, clarity, and scale as far as they want. Something like that.
Okay. I guess my only worry is that like if people are searching, you know, like Airtable consultant or coach, you know, and I don't have the word Airtable in there,
yeah,
I'm not going to pop up in that search.
Hey, using Airtable, that's totally fine.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, I help people drive outcome using Airtable. I help people get base human desired need that they actually want using Airtable. So this is where I see some people get it twisted, man. Like it's you're not, you know, Airtable is the tool that you use. Airtable would be irrelevant if all Airtable was just like, you know, some software that when you log in, it just plays funny cat videos for you. It's like Airtable. But what it is it gives people clarity of numbers. It's this really malleable software that can really meet anybody's needs and help them build really like internal like hub for all the business's needs, right? So, but what can you do with that? Well, and that's where you speak to outcomes. So I think outcomes here are like peace of mind, scalability, clarity, simplicity, getting them excited about their work again, helping them scale teams, helping them have eyes on key numbers so that they can make clean, sound decisions, and ultimately, you know, making more money and having more freedom. Check. You know what I mean? Like these are the things that you're really selling, and Airtable is your mechanism to do so.
Maybe like that's all. Like maybe like a better buy would be like teaching people how to grow and scale, or teaching people how to organize and scale using Airtable.
Totally.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yep. Something like that.
Okay. Sweet. Well, we don't have too much more time here. Well, shit, man. I mean, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, dude. I'm doing great. I'm a little disappointed in this past season. I know that I could do a lot better than I did, but I also am ready to really rock again and try much harder and do things in the way that they need done. So I'm really looking forward to a fresh season of kind of dialing things backwards to move things forwards again. You know, built the business way too wide. I built it tall, you know, and like had a long.
If you don't mind me asking, who's like sticking around?
Aaron and I, pretty much. Yeah, I'm gonna be focused on the.
Oh, not even Jason.
No, we're dialing things way back, dude. Dialing things way back.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, you know, I can. Because I can do spreadsheets. I can track my own financials, do my own spreadsheets. Like, you know, and so, because I think what happened was I brought a lot of people in, and they're talented people, but the ceiling for the revenue growth of the business hadn't been actually solved. It wasn't like, if we want to make $100,000 a month, these are the exact things we do to do that. It was like, we're kind of testing this and testing that and seeing if this works. And like, so now I'm just like, let me just dial in ads to the VSL, the outbound dialing team, the closing team, take calls myself, record them, do dials myself, record them, build training, build that team up, get a scalable sales system in place, get a scalable delivery system in place, have the SOPs ready to go, and then do what I was doing again. Because until we have those two functions, nothing else really matters. So it's a painful lesson, but I'm not at all, you know, I haven't really lost any energy for it because I love what I do. This niche, this industry, I love it, dude. So I'm ready to run.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, man, if you're ever in Chicago, you know, let's get some food sometime.
Yes, dude. Anytime. Or if you're coming through Indy, I'll treat you.
Yeah, on a bike ride.
Yeah. I just see you swinging through and in on your like layback bike with your plug-in Wi-Fi in the back.
No, I would never ride a recumbent bike.
Funny. I would.
Also,
oh, go ahead.
Can you hit me back with can you hit me with a follow back on IG?
On my personal, yes.
Yeah. Not the whatever one is the
Yeah.
Brad is gonna be hitting me up.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. I got you. Keep track of you.
Yeah, I wanna keep up.
Oh no, your bike's cracked, or bike had a.
Oh, that was
like in April.
Yeah, that was a while ago. That was last year. That was my old bike. That was the one I rode from Arizona to Chicago.
Wow, man. Yeah, the nomad lifestyle on a bike's like kind of the move for us. Sounds kind of awesome. Like, I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh, that's the ultimate goal,
Yeah, Lily and I are thinking about doing a van life, dude. Like, we're really, really, really thinking about it. Like, very serious. Like, buying a converted bus or something, or converting a bus ourselves. Like, bro, it's so fun.
I know a handful of people that have done it.
Yeah, it'd be an interesting lifestyle.
You could be
running an internet
van life coach.
Yeah, totally. Internet-based online consulting business.
How to run your internet-based company out of a van.
Yes, exactly. That'd be ridiculous. But all right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you go, dude. Hop on. You're always welcome in CB calls, whatever you need. And yeah, dude. I'd love to see you doing 7, 10, 15 grand a month and a couple coaching calls here and there. It's easily doable for you, dude. You've got the skills. What you're missing is the ability to speak to the human needs. Really take the time and go. Print out Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And Maslow himself makes them very like kind of ethereal a little bit. But there's printables of it, very like practical. It's like people need shelter, survival, and like community. That's like their first need, is to feel like they belong someplace and they're not gonna die. Next above that, it moves into like pleasures, or like as you go up and up. So the things that we can speak most to, we can't really sell like enlightenment, like it's some people do.
Yeah.
The thing that you can really think about is like status, comfort, freedom, and peace. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's where most marketers need to hang out if they want to sell a service like what you sell. But I'll let you go, dude.
Yep.
I'll see you, bro.
All right. Much appreciated, Trey. Take care.